Hi, my name's Noah Pohl, and today I will be talking about depression, which is my topic. Depression, I've experienced a lot of my life. Mostly half my family has it. I've had it before, and today I'm talking about it. It's a significant impairment in daily life, and especially in my life, especially with my one brother. His name is Ethan, and he's 13 years old. He has depression, anxiety, and ADHD, and it's just really hard to see him just go to school every day and just get bullied and all these other things. And I just really wish there was something that could happen that I could do to fix that. And then today, we're going to be talking about a few things. First, we will be discussing the causes of depression. And there are quite a few causes, but the ones I'm going to talk about today and focus on are such as things like medication, significant life events that could cause traumatic life experiences, and then one that's very important you also have to focus on, the genetic vulnerability. When talking about genetics, it can come when you were born, from your parents, just like that. Life events, you see this a lot in relationships that you see in high school, college, even grown-ups witness things like a significant other cheating on them. That could cause like total depression and just cause them to, it'll affect things. These are the symptoms that I'm gonna get into. Now we'll be discussing the symptoms. Definitely spelled that wrong, but it's okay. Of depression. A few of them are things like mood swings, another one which is changes in energy level and changes in sleep schedules. Because for people with depression, and I've experienced this, when you have depression, you may not get enough sleep, or you may get too sleep, and that can cause fatigue, which is very bad to have because you just don't feel like doing anything. Another thing that we're going to talk about today is treatment for depression. Because if there's one good thing about depression, is that there's a way to treat it. Treatment. You have medications that you can take. And then you also, which are called antidepressants, which really help just leave the stress that's in your brain. And in my opinion, depression never goes away. It's just a thing, it's kind of like a volcano. You know how it becomes dormant? So when you take medications and then you go to things like talk therapies, that says talk therapy, but when you go to things like that, it helps keep it balanced and ease it to not make it so hard on you. And that's really good, but it's always gonna be there. And things, the causes, they like life events, like traumatic events, those really alter it. Especially things like bullying, especially in schools. Like kids are awful these days and they just don't know how depression affects someone. Another thing we're going to be talking today is how it affects your physical nature. You know, for physical nature, you could gain weight, you could lose too much weight. It really affects your eating habits, and that's very bad for you. It also causes fatigue, which may make you like not want to play sports, not want to go outside, not want to exercise, just do nothing and just sleep all day, which is very bad for you because you need to exercise. Another thing we're going to be talking about today is how it affects your cognitive situations. That's what I'm going to say. And this can cause, so cognitive. It can cause a loss of concentration, which is very bad, especially in school, because you want to be concentrated on things. And if you're not, that can cause for low grades, which isn't good at all. Another thing, it also It also affects slowness and activity. This is all cognitive. It's coming from the brain because you're working slower on things because of depression. Another thing is thoughts of suicide, which is one of the worst things about depression because it can lead to thoughts of suicide. And I've experienced this before through in my family that it's happened, and it's very hard. It's very traumatic for a whole family to know that there's nothing you could have done more. Depression, in my opinion, it's a silent killer. It can kill anyone just because of how it makes you feel alone and away from everyone, and you have no one. But just thank God that there are treatments. And the bad thing about treatments are sometimes it may be too much to afford, but then there are programs that really help you to afford these type of things. And I've gone through these programs before. Some programs, you have the Red Cross, you can go to the church, ask for funds, and you have Medicaid. That's what I have, and it really helps. The last thing that we're going to be talking about today is how it affects your emotions. Whew. And through emotions, this is where you find your anxiety, and you find your guilt that you feel, and loss of interest for things, which isn't good at all. And the final thing that we're going to be talking about today is how to plan for recreational activities for someone who has depression. And there's really two things that you really need to focus on. One, are they a risk to themselves and people around them? Because that's very important, because you want everyone to be safe. And are they emotionally, physically, and socially capable to be working in an environment around other people? Because if they're depressed, they may just want to work by themselves and do recreation activities like that. So you really have to know the person that you're working with. Thank you for hearing me out today. I'm very sorry that I didn't get this in and wasn't able to present in class, but I just wanted to make a video for y'all to show that how depression is something horrible to have, and it really needs to be sought after to make sure that everyone feels the same and accepted. Thank you. Have a nice day.